Hi guys, it's student nurse Tiff, and I just wanted to come through and talk to you guys. As I always say, you know my schedule get kicked up sometimes, but I wanted to come through and talk to you guys about a issue that happens with the majority of nursing students, and I feel like it's very seldomly talked about. And I myself have been going through it and experiencing it since day one of the nursing program. And I feel that it's important for me to be transparent with you guys and also give you some advice and tips on dealing with this. So, basically, the issue that has been going on with me is I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety with nursing school. So, I have never really had to deal with anxiety before the start of this program, but it seems like now that I'm in this program, anxiety just keeps creeping on me every day. Okay? And I think my anxiety stems from the fear of not going to do well. Although I have been doing exceedingly well, it's still always that doubt in my mind that I could mess up or that I could do something wrong or that I could fail. And I guess it's because I feel like nursing is such a serious field and that it should be taken not lightly, and that it's important for me to be the best nurse possible that I can be. And sometimes I feel like although I'm learning and absorbing so much information, that I'm not learning enough, and that although I'm learning and absorbing so much information, that I'm not remembering enough. So I think that's where my anxiety comes from. So I have been finding different ways to cope with it, and I wanted to share some of those tips that has helped me along the way, and hopefully it helps some of you guys as well. So first things first, we all know that in nursing school, the workload is a lot. So in the beginning, whenever we start courses, of course, we always get the syllabi, and I feel like it's important to plan accordingly, okay? And by saying that, I mean, like, when you get those syllabi, you review them and you get a ballpark and an idea of your assignments, when they're due, what are your assignments, when are your exams. And I feel that it's imperative that you get a planner. And the reason why the planner is necessary, because although you have a syllabi, the planner helps you break things down by each week. And instead of trying to sift through these different pages, because sometimes these syllabi can be like 11 pages long, 12 pages long, you break it down per week with your assignments for each class, and then you can clearly see it weekly in front of you versus trying to look at a syllabi that may cover a semester or a quarter of information. So then when you're opening up weekly, as you're doing things, you can easily check them off. Okay? When you have these syllabi and you're not on top of it, it's easy to miss a deadline, and that you don't want to do. So planning and prioritizing your workload will help reduce anxiety. So that's the first tip that I would have for you guys. So if you don't already have one, I would suggest that you invest in a good planner. It's very helpful. The second thing I would suggest is, like I said, you do get the syllabi very early. I would not wait till the last minute to study. Like, sometimes people feel so overwhelmed and so flustered with everything that they have going on in life, whether it be trying to have a social life, balance your family life, balance your work life, and balance school. It's so easy to get caught up with doing other things that are not as important. I won't say that your family may be important or not important, or your friends may not be important or whatever, but nursing should be top priority. So sometimes we get so caught up in life that we put our studies to the side, or we don't study as efficiently as we should. And that can create anxiety within us without us even realizing that it's doing it, because then here it is a week before or 2 weeks before your exam, and you're trying to go through 20 chapters worth of information, and you're flustered because you feel like it's too much. But if you would have properly managed your time beforehand, then you could have possibly dedicated an hour or two each day leading up into the exam to cover those 20 chapters. So I would say never, ever, ever, ever wait a week before the exam to study. And another reason why I say this is because, yeah, it may be easy for some people to study and cram a week before an exam, and they may pass that exam, but they're only storing that information in their short-term memory. And as a nurse, you want to store it in your long-term memory. So that's also something to think about. We're not doing this just to pass a class or pass an exam. We're doing this to pass the NCLEX. And not only that, we're doing it so that we can know our stuff when we're caring for patients. We have to be the experts. We are the knowledgeable ones. So that's another tip that I have for you guys. Never wait till the last minute to study, because that also can create anxiety. So another thing too, a lot of people suffer with test anxiety. Test anxiety creeps up on you. You may not be one of those people who wait till the last minute. You may be one of those people who feel like you have mastered everything it is to master with your content, and that you're ready for the exam. But because you know that this test may weigh a lot, or you know that this exam may be a difficult exam, or you know that this exam may be the determining factor where you proceed to the next step in your program, some people get flustered and they get anxiety when it comes to taking an exam. So some things that can help you reduce that anxiety would be to work out. Like, working out helps relieve a lot of stress and anxiety, and people don't realize it. And I would say do something that you also enjoy. Like, some people like to pamper themselves, some people like to do yoga, or I'm not really into it, but some people like meditation. So you want to basically find ways to reduce stress up off of you. And sometimes it can be as simple as self-care. Sometimes it can be something as simple as eating something you enjoy, or sometimes it can be something as simple as just you working out and releasing that stress up off of you. So those are 3 things you can do, and you can do it literally the day before the exam. Also, I would shut my mind off of the exam the day before the exam. Like, I would not look at any material that day. Some people will look at it as a last day to review material, but I feel that it's important that you shut your brain off, because sometimes you can overload your brain with so much information, and then you're just not useful anymore, and you don't want that. So you want to give yourself a break from studying to taking that exam so that you can ensure that you do well. Also, don't be one of those people who pull all-nighters. All-nighters can be avoided if you properly plan, okay? Because what end up happening is you're not getting a full night's rest that you need to have that mental flow when taking that exam. You are creating tiredness within yourselves, which also can increase anxiety, and we don't want that. So if you can get a good night's sleep before the exam, that also helps a lot. Also, if you're a coffee drinker, I know I am a coffee drinker. I'm an avid coffee drinker. I drink coffee literally every day. I have been trying to break that habit, but what keeps me drinking it is the fact that I get the caffeine withdrawals, and then I end up drinking it again. But for a person who has anxiety, sometimes the caffeine can upset your GI tract, and that could not go very well for some people. Some people will get an upset stomach. Some people will have diarrhea and all these different type of things because they're nervous and that anxiety just get kicked up. So if that is you, I would avoid caffeine as well. So another thing that helps with anxiety is self-affirmations. Like, tell yourself, like, it is me who got into nursing school. It is me that has made it this far. It is me who has been independently passing these exams. I am more than capable of doing this. I wouldn't be here if I didn't deserve to be here. Like, people don't realize how you project negativity on yourself without even realizing it, and how that negativity can create anxiety. You literally have to train your mind to see the positivity in everything that's going on around you, despite what it looks like. seriously. So if you're having trouble with that, I say try writing sticky notes to remind yourself of maybe positive quotes that you like. You can put those sticky notes in a mirror when you wake up in the morning. It's different apps that are available that has self-affirmations. Some people use like daily devotionals that have motivational Bible scriptures or things like that if you're spiritual or religious. And you read those things and you speak positivity over your life and you manifest that over your life so that, you know, everything will work in your favor as it should and as it's supposed to be. So the last thing I would say is if you try everything under the sun and nothing appears to be working, then it may be best that you seek professional help. Honestly, because it may not be nursing school that's actually giving you the anxiety. It may be some other underlying cause that's producing that anxiety, and you may have to get evaluated because it may ultimately lead to you being on medication. Although that's the last thing that we will want for anyone dealing with anxiety, sometimes it's unavoidable. But in order to actually get down to the bottom of your anxiety, sometimes it may take for you to go see someone who can properly diagnose you with that. So I hope these tips have been helpful for you. I hope that they may help someone along the way. If you yourself have dealt with anxiety, let me know in the comments below. If you're new to this channel and you like what you're hearing so far, just hit that subscribe button. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for returning with me. And if you have anything that you would like me to discuss and talk about in the comments, don't hesitate to let me know below. And until next time, guys, peace.